Okay, so this is my video of healthy lifestyle improvement strategies for Distinction 2. So, looking back on my client, I've seen that my client struggles when it comes to physical activity and diet. These will be my two main areas that I'll focus on this video on today. So, one of the strategies that I would first employ when it comes to my client would be walking. So, in my video and my report, I stated that my client suffered highly from lack of exercise, in the sense that they weren't getting the recommendations or the national averages that we should be striving for. So at the minute they were just under the national average. So the national average is 60 minutes or 120 minutes for 18-year-olds, which is what my client is. So what I'll do is get them walking to, because I believe at the minute they get dropped into college or they get a bus or train. So what I'll do is I'd get them to walk maybe that extra bit further to the next bus station or the next train station. What this would do is then hopefully encourage them to start walking further distances, stop getting public transport where they can, obviously. Things will depend. So, like, say the weather, say if it's snowy, they're obviously not going to be able to walk that far. But if it's a normal average day, hopefully this will push them to walk more places instead of rely on anyone else. Also, what this does is it'll be able to boost their cardiovascular system and their muscular endurance. So what this will do for their cardio means their heart will get stronger, so cardiac hypertrophy will start to happen, and then from there it means their heart will be better at pumping blood throughout the body, getting to the muscles, so they can go for longer periods of time. As I stated, a negative of this would be like the weather. Obviously, they can't do it all the time. If they've got a injury, for example, so if they've injured their legs, obviously they're not going to be able to walk for very far or for very long, so that could hinder their progress. Also, walking may not be considered vigorous activity, and it probably isn't vigorous activity, so it would just be considered like moderate or basic. So what we might have to do is upgrade that walking to maybe like jogging, to again try and hit that area that we want. The next strategy I'll be looking at is cycling. So again, positive when it comes to cycling is that it is vigorous. It requires more muscles, and it requires a lot more work from your cardio, your respiratory, and your muscular system. So perks of cycling, it means that you can travel greater distances in less time. So the more time so the more time you are spent doing this activity, the more calories you're going to be burning, the better your heart and your muscular system is going to be, and also your respiratory system, because they will get stronger and be able to do their jobs more efficiently and better. However, again, a negative of this is my client may not have access to a bike. They may not have the money at the time to get a bike, and unlike in places like London, we don't have any schemes or systems like Boris bikes, so they cannot easily pop down the road and get one. Also, the weather again. Um, if it's tipping it down rain or blowing a gale outside, you're not going to be wanting to do this. But that's also where kind of like your mentality comes into it, because you've got to be motivated to be able to do this. And especially if you want to increase your levels of physical activity, and say your goal is weight loss, you're going to have to motivate yourself to get out there even if you don't want to. I think both of these strategies, so the walking and cycling, are suitable for my client, because, well, looking back on the report and the questionnaire that he filled out, he said that he wasn't getting anywhere near the national averages. And what we want as a nation and as a single person is to get them up to where that national average is. So yeah, that was my video analysis.